And we are back, and we just finished 2022's Strange World, rated PG with a runtime of 1 hour and 42 minutes. This is currently for streaming on Disney Plus. I'm going to come out of the gate and say I don't know why this movie didn't do better.
Yeah, it was pretty good.
It was pretty good. I mean, it wasn't Encanto good, but I mean, I'm really surprised that this didn't do better. Is it bad marketing, I guess?
I think that does play a heavy part because, well, one, I don't recall seeing like a ton of advertisement. They didn't do like the usual blitz that they do with stuff. Two,
whatever marketing there was poorly done.
Yeah, I mean, the most they would show is like the title of the film and whatever. I mean, we don't really watch a lot of network television, so we didn't see a lot of commercials.
Right.
Yeah, and also, I guess, I mean, we are the country we are, or the world we are, and, you know, there are elements in there that are a bit heavier for a
middle America audience.
Not only a middle America, but a middle America audience that are looking for something to take their little kids to. And there's certain things that, like, I mean, Disney, they want to target that audience, but you got to, I mean, know your audience. And I mean while there are progressive parents out there, and definitely there is more exposure to same-sex relationships. Mm-hmm. The bulk of the Disney crowd, they ain't down with that. There's a reason why there's so many issues.
Okay,
and that's the way. And it's not like as though this was graph in your face. I'm gay, Dad. No. It wasn't even like a hiccup in the story. Right. I mean, honestly, if the kid like the no big spoiler here, or maybe a spoiler, I don't know.
Everyone knows the kid.
Okay, so I'm hearing everybody knows the grandson Ethan. He's gay, and he has a crush on some kid who looks like he's got a radish on his head.
Diazzo.
Attractive. Okay.
You know what?
He's got a crush on this kid Diazzo, and basically that's all it is. You see a little bit of him like being nervous around this kid. And then the rest of it is just talk. And honestly, if Diazzo was just Diazza,
it wouldn't have mattered.
Nobody would have given a crap about it, and they would have been like, oh, this is such a fun movie.
Yeah.
Seriously, that one little twist, if they would have just made that non-character a girl instead of a boy,
they would have had more butts and seats.
They would have had more butts and seats. Because
that's weird.
Because you know what? It's weird, but that's just the way that, and it's like, well, that doesn't reflect society, or it's overrepresented. This didn't even take place on Earth. Oh, sorry, I'm spoiling it.
Well, I mean, not to. Okay, so we're going to discuss the movie in a second, but I think the guideline is a movie has to make its budget times 2, right? So
yeah, because I think that's what they do more than that, because I think the advertising budget is allegedly almost the same as the actual budget of the movie.
So the estimated budget on this is $120 million.
So they would have had to make over
240.
And what did it do?
Opening weekend in the U.S. and Canada, $12 million. $151,384. The gross in the U.S. and Canada is $37,968. $968,963. The worldwide gross is $73,621,640.
Took a bath on this.
So one. Yeah, so this is not what we would call a successful film.
I mean, not at all.
I mean, if you're talking to the accountants, I guess this isn't a successful film. But however, I feel like this was a really good story. I was really invested in the characters. I, unlike you, didn't have a problem with the character designs.
Yeah, I felt the character designs, they were a little too Seussian, and eyes too close together. Eyes are a weird shape. They're more like
the big bulbous nose.
Big bulbous nose, but it's really the eyes.
Okay.
Because the mother's design didn't bother me. She had normal eyes.
Yes,
but the father, the grandfather, the grandson, and a lot of other characters had these weird
Callisto didn't have weird eyes.
Egg-shaped eyes. No, her eyes didn't bother me. Yeah. It was the main family, the Clades. And I guess Clades? Oh, sorry. The Clades and I guess other characters around them, they had these bizarre egg-shaped Dr. Seuss eyes that were like kind of small and weird shaped, and that bothered me. I don't know.
Kind of to circle back to something that you said earlier about this not being for certain demographics. I agree with you. And I think that they probably could have marketed this to like tweens and young adults.
Maybe.
If they had put commercials for this film on Disney XD, or they own Channel 7, like just saturate Channel 7 with these commercials, I think that would have been a better call. I mean, I don't...
You know what? Maybe if they didn't wrap it under the Disney banner.
But they'd have to, because it's a Disney film.
I know, but it's just like, that's not what people are expecting from a Disney film.
So
people want, people... It's just like noise, and then they hear the word Disney, and they're just like, oh, I could probably take my kids to that. Mm-hmm. They're not really paying attention to any of the other stuff. And then when they're like reading it, they're like, oh, the new Disney film's coming out, and suddenly somebody's just like, they're trying to turn your kid gay. And they're like, oh my God, what is really happening in this movie?
Right.
What are they showing? And their minds are going crazy.
And they don't show anything.
No, I told you. That was the height of the gayness
of this film. Yeah,
was a bit of nervousness around Radish Head or whatever that kid's name was, Diazzo. And then a couple of mentions of him. Oh, well, if you want to impress Diazzo, you got to save his life.
They don't even kiss.
Yeah,
no,
they touch cheeks.
I think that's it. And the screen time of those two characters is well under 2 minutes.
I would say well under 1 minute.
Possibly.
Yes. It was virtually
non-existent.
Yeah,
like I said, this was, like I said, if Diazzo was a girl,
this wouldn't have been an issue.
I bet you this film would have, I don't know if it would have made its entire budget back, but it would have definitely done a lot better, because seriously, word of mouth and on this particular issue kind of killed this film, because honestly, it was the only thing I really heard about this film. I really didn't hear any bad reviews. I also didn't hear any good reviews, but I certainly heard people saying, oh, this is going to happen. Yeah.
I saw on YouTube people talking about it, and like in those types of videos, I always look in the comments because they're really funny. And this one person said, "I'm not gonna watch it because I'm not gonna watch it not because I'm homophobic, but because I'm racist."
Oh yeah, I
didn't even better.
Oh yeah, we didn't even talk about that.
It's a mixed race family. It's a mixed race family, and I don't think any of the white characters could be considered like purebred white. You're totally missing out on that Aryan crowd. They're going to be so disappointed. They're like, what about me? None of these characters speak to me. Their skin tone is at least 3 shades darker than mine.
Representation matters.
Yeah,
I'm sure they're gonna co-opt that.
75% of the cast doesn't have blonde hair.
Yeah. I was going to say that while I was watching this film, I thought a lot about John Carter from Mars, because I feel like that was another really good film that unfortunately wasn't properly marketed.
Yeah.
And didn't do well because it wasn't properly marketed. So this movie, to me, had shades of that. And it's unfortunate because this actually wasn't a bad film watch experience. We hadn't watched anything on Disney Plus in a while, and this had been on our list to watch, and we finally buckled down and watched it, and it was hell entertaining.
Yeah, I wasn't bored at all.
No.
It was good. Yeah, and like I was telling you before, possibly another issue with people or it not like latching onto kids and whatnot was just like the family issues, the conflicts between the father and the grandfather and the father and the father and the son, and sort of like they dealt heavily with the idea of expectations, legacy, what you want your kids to be versus what they want to be, and having to accept the fact that sometimes your kid is not going to be into what you're into,
right, or following your footsteps,
like
the things that you like, and that's okay.
And yeah, that's okay. I feel like maybe that was like a bit heavier than it definitely is a bit heavier than anything you'd see in any other Disney film.
Absolutely.
Like I mentioned before, most times in Disney films, parents are dead or kidnapped or non-characters. Mm-hmm. It's just sort of like, oh, we love you. And then they appear at the end of the film with a big hug. Or, oh, they've been dead the entire time and now a person finds true love somewhere else or some nonsense. But whereas this was definitely, I would say, more complex in that kind of storytelling. And I would probably say that's probably another reason why little maybe little kids would just blow over them. But on the flip side of that, you got tons of pretty stuff to look at. I mean, the world itself, the inner world that they go exploring, it's beautiful, and it's all sort of like, it's almost like a metaphor for something else, which you find out throughout the rest of the film, and it's very well done.
I agree.
So that would appeal to kids. They may not get the whole, I don't want to be like you, Dad.
Yeah.
But maybe that would turn off a parent because it's sort of like, they're teaching my children to rebel against me.
Yeah, you know what? I hadn't even thought of that, too. I think it's too bad because I feel like thematically it was interesting. I think for kids that find themselves in this situation, whether they are exploring their feelings for some same-sex relationship, or just the whole idea of this pressure to kind of follow in your father's footsteps. I mean, Jaeger was this larger-than-life character that I feel Searcher always felt like he was in the shadow of, and then Searcher becomes his own man and kind of writes his own history, and now he's become his father, where he wants Ethan to kind of follow in his footsteps, but that's not what Ethan wants.
Right.
So it's like, it's very cyclical in that way.
He wants something more in the middle between the two of them.
Yeah.
Whereas the grandfather just wants to go exploring and
right.
adventuring, and the father just wants to be like a farmer. And he wants to be more like a naturalist, I think.
Yeah. Yeah.
Finding coexistence between all
those
things.
two worlds. Yeah. Yeah. I mean, I enjoyed it, and it's too bad that they didn't. Like, I could totally see the same, I guess, crowd that watches those zombie movies or whatever else is on Disney XD. But, like, I feel like this definitely would have been really good to target towards a young adult audience.
I got to be honest, I feel this would have done better if it was targeted towards
adults.
Not like older people like us, I guess. Nobody targets to us anymore.
Nobody gives
a crap about people.
Although we're starting to get our AARPs in the mail.
I have it. But I don't think this, like, I think, yeah, this is more of, so young adult, but I wouldn't say tweens or anything. I would probably say like people in their 20s, maybe.
Really?
Yeah.
I feel like 14 and up.
I feel like this is more of that, and maybe if they, I guess, up the rating a bit so they could show a little bit more people being eaten, that would have helped, but then it wouldn't be a Disney film.
Right. This is PG.
I think that is also part of the marketing failure and the design, just the concept failure, in that you're dealing with weightier issues, you're dealing with the concept of same-sex relationships, and you're wrapping it all in
interracial relationships. Right.
Is
that a thing? Is that even a red flag?
I feel like that's not a thing, but I'm sure it is to some people still.
Yeah.
But like I said, you're putting all of that in this box, and then you're just wrapping it up with Mickey Mouse wrapping paper, and it's just like, here! And somebody opens it, and they open it up, and they're not expecting it, and it's just like,
oh my God.
Family conflict and gay people.
Black and white.
What is this?
Yeah.
I was expecting cake, and instead I got some sort of weird exotic foreign food.
I'm going to go around the table and get impressions and see what the young people in the house have to say. Olive G, what did you think of this film?
I thought it was good.
Yeah, what'd you like about it?
I don't know.
You don't know. Did you have a favorite character?
No.
Did you have a favorite scene? We can spoil it. I feel like this tanked miserably, but hopefully we can build some kind of buzz around this.
Yeah, I mean, I feel maybe it could assuage some people's fears about what they were getting into before they went to the theater, because I think a lot of people tried to shy away from like an actual reviews, just saying what was going on, and it's really nothing. Like I said, they touch cheeks.
Well, I think maybe
the cheeks
people
on their face.
Maybe people get caught up because, like, I think before this, Lightyear had come out, and there was like big brouhaha about that.
I mean, from what I understand about Lightyear, that was even less overt.
Yeah,
that's the thing I don't get. It's just like, what do you think Disney is going to do?
Yeah,
do you really think Disney is going to show you anything that you don't see just walking down the damn street? Anyway. Sorry,
I didn't mean to cut you off, Olive G. What was your favorite scene? Did you have a favorite scene in this?
No.
No. Okay. What did you like about the film? Like, if I was your friend and I asked you, oh, you saw Strange World, what did you like about it? What would you tell me?
What am I supposed to say?
I don't know. You told me.
It's the most forgetful film for me. Okay?
Was it? Okay.
So then you didn't like it.
So you didn't like it.
I liked it, I guess. It's just that I don't know what to say about it.
It was good.
You know,
it was okay.
You know how in your tutoring they're trying to like get you to analyze things that you read? What's the main idea?
Okay.
Whatever. It's the same with movies. We just want your opinion. We
Yeah,
just want to
there's
know.
no right answer.
Did it make you feel happy? Did some of the things excite you? Did some of the things scare you? Did some of the things disgust you?
Nothing scared me.
Okay, fair enough.
Well, did
you find Searcher, Ethan's father, cringy in the beginning of the film?
Absolutely.
Yeah, he was talking way too much to.
Did you think it was
Diazo.
funny?
Funny?
Yeah, was the film funny? Were there funny bits?
No, not really.
No, wasn't that funny? Okay.
Maybe they were trying a little bit, but I didn't laugh.
Yeah, it wasn't like laugh out
Did you
loud
think
funny.
parts of it were exciting?
No.
You didn't find any of the action sequences captivating or interesting at all?
Not, I mean...
I think, you know what? I don't think this was girl-centric enough for Olive.
All right.
I think
I could see
I
that.
don't know what to say about this film.
Okay, I feel like if there were stronger female representation in this film, you would have liked it more. I mean, you have the character of Meridian and Callisto, but they aren't big players in this story.
Yeah, they're more supporting
They're more
characters.
supporting characters. I feel like it's the big thing is between Ethan Searcher and Jaeger. So you have a very male dominant storyline here. So I could see why you would kind of superficially enjoy this, but not really get into it. Okay, fair enough. Gigi, I'm going to go to you and ask you what you thought of this film.
It was cute.
Yeah, what did you think was cute about it?
I don't know, them repairing their relationship. Sheesh.
Did you have a favorite character?
Not really.
No. Did you have a favorite scene?
No,
No.
not especially.
Do you have any thoughts about this movie at all?
I think that it was better than people give it credit for. I don't understand, like Mom said, I don't understand why it did that horribly.
Yeah. And you didn't feel like the gay undertones were like too much, right?
It's not like they were shoving it down your throat.
Yeah, no. Agreed. Mm-hmm. What about you? Oh, I already got your impressions, didn't I?
Yeah, I gave
You
a
were
whole big
jabbering
thing.
a mile a minute.
Yeah.
I too really enjoyed this film. Again, it wasn't like it didn't wow me like Encanto did, but I think that
No singing.
there's no singing. So for the people that don't appreciate that stuff, this is definitely right up your alley. This felt very, I love the beginning. Hats off to Alan Tudyk, the narrator at the beginning of this. And I liked how they set up the story. And it looked very comic book-ish, right? The way it's drawn.
The rendering of the art styles in the beginning was a nice
Very
touch.
different from the actual story, which was like, yeah, I really enjoyed that. I enjoyed the kind of quick world building that happens in those first few minutes of the story, and then we just plunge into the story 25 years later. Yeah, again, like I said before, I felt I don't think people gave this a fair shake, and that's unfortunate because you're really missing out on some pretty interesting storytelling. Again, there's multiple layers to this. There's, like you had mentioned, the expectations and legacy and that relationship between sons and fathers and grandparents and grandchildren. There was a scene where I think I don't know if all of us, but there was a scene where Ethan tells his grandfather that he likes Diazo. And for a minute there, I sort of got a little worried that
I thought it was going to be homophobic.
I thought he was going to be homophobic too, but he seems
Didn't blink an eye.
He didn't blink an eye. Yeah. Did not blink an eye. So I found that somewhat refreshing because when you think of older generations, you think about this conservativeness or this lack of understanding or inflexibility of accepting things that are different. So in that respect, I really, really liked that little scene, and it was quick, but it was there. And shout out to the filmmakers for putting that in. I think that's important. I think that getting accepted and receiving that love from your family is very, very important. And here's someone who he'd never met his grandson, and likewise, the grandson had never met his father and didn't really know much because the father himself would never tell Ethan much about the grandfather. So that was nice too. And I agree with you too about like more adult, darker themes with family relationships, but I think that
I wouldn't even say darker, just
or more serious.
More serious.
Sorry.
Usually the family dynamic in a lot of these films is just, I want to surf the big wave and my dad won't let me.
Yeah.
And it's just like, okay, well, it's just a superficial plot point.
Right.
This is like, I know what you like, son. You like this.
Yes,
and the
yes.
son's just like, what are you talking about? I've never liked this. If you paid attention. And that's like it's about really looking past your own biases to get to the truth. And a lot of films, especially kid films, don't really do that, or they do it in like a monumentally superficial way. I didn't know you wanted to surf the big wave.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know. It's kind of a disservice to the film. I felt like the story was really well done. It's not winning awards or anything, but I mean, for people to not give something a chance solely based on the talking points of whatever they listen to, it's kind of unfortunate. I mean, I feel like this film should have done better numbers.
Like I said, I don't feel like this film was targeted at the right audience and produced by the right production company, and it
So
really,
what would be the thing here? Should Disney make like an alternate label? I mean, they own for people that don't understand, they own Hulu, which has a lot of really interesting stuff on the platform.
Although here they're thinking of selling
it. I think it would be a shame.
Yeah, they should definitely make that sort of like the off Disney branch.
Yeah, I agree. I mean, although nothing really bad happens on Only Murders in the Building, so I guess that could be translated back to Disney. Well, does bad stuff happen on there?
People are murdered.
Yeah, but you're not seeing it. You're not seeing it. It's not like a raid movie.
It's not like a raid movie, but there's I don't know. It's definitely not like for me. Disney is for kids.
Sure.
It's for kids and for those young at heart, let's say.
And families.
And families who just want light,
PG
entertaining fare. I mean, the hardest violence you'll see is a Marvel movie.
Yeah.
Which is just extravagant and a spectacle. And ultimately, you're not supposed to come out of the theater hoping to be changed by it. Then you could like move things up. Like look at the world of anime. And the types of the variety of movies films that you'll get there targeted to different groups. Right. I mean, there's anime that kids would be bored out of their minds with. They wouldn't care at all about. And then there's anime that they love. Disney needs to sort of find that thing where they could split it up where, okay, well, Strange World, we're not going to target the family crowd with this one. I mean, it is about family, but it's not really little kids, stuff like this. There's some weighty issues in there. If you feel like taking your kids, it's totally fine too. But we're actually looking for more of the kids who have grown up and are now sort of on their own. And they could watch this and be like, you know what? That makes sense to me. I had the same deal with my parents, and maybe one day they'll understand the way these characters in this film did. Work on something, I don't know. So I'm not the guy who's chopping up the company into little pieces, but that's what I feel was the failure in the marketing here.
Okay,
that
makes sense.
A lot of stuff that you don't expect to find in the box, and you opened it up and it was there, and you're like, why is this in here? Why is this in this box?
Right, because this is not my preconceived notion.
This is not my preconceived notion. I want to see Rapunzel becoming independent from the mother. Mother Gothel or whatever.
Yeah,
I want to see Joy realize that sadness is a necessary part of life. Stuff like that. I don't want to see you don't understand me, Dad. Discourse and whatnot. So it's fine if it's there. If you feel like we let our kids watch all sorts of stuff.
Yes.
And but I understand that a lot of parents don't.
Yeah.
I feel like the way that marketing especially failed this thing was it was not your typical Disney movie, and I'm guessing they tried to serve it up as such, and that's gonna
do you think so? Because I feel like the marketing wasn't even there. I mean, whatever
marketing was there was Disney, from the makers of hit Disney movies that you loved before. Here's Strange World, and then suddenly you just get the early reviewers, and all they could focus on is, Disney's becoming so woke. Woke. Oh my God, go woke, go broke. And it's just like, well, can we as a nation? I'm not going to give this. I'm not even going to give this a chance. Why am I going to risk I'm going to risk my child turning gay. It's like people walk into the theater just incredibly straight, and then they just leave, and they're just feather boas and glitter and
Couldn't we as a nation put that to rest, that whole woke thing? Please.
Yeah.
I think it's overused.
Nobody even knows what the hell it means.
No, they don't. I also want to say, well, okay, so kind of springboarding off something that you said, it would be weird if they got rid of Hulu, because I think Hulu gives them the perfect avenue as an alternative platform where they can put stuff that isn't universally kid friendly. So a lot of their properties, or not a lot of their properties, but I think some of their other properties could go into the Hulu section. I mean, so you have platforms like HBO Max where it's just a hodgepodge of stuff, right? You can get your anime, your Studio Ghibli stuff. You can get your old Turner classic movies on there. Mm-hmm. You can get HBO Max originals. You can get big theatrical releases on there. So I guess it creates this thing where you're not sure. And I can see where Disney, as the family-friendly company, would want to keep that separation. So in that respect, I think that they should maybe keep Hulu and put some of their more adult/risque things on that platform and leave Disney as the purveyors of very clean, very family fun-oriented entertainment.
Yeah, I guess.
You've said your piece.
I don't know.
You're tuckered out.
Yeah, I'm tuckered out. I'm starting to glaze over here.
Okay. I'm going to go around the table then and get numbers. Gigi, I'm going to start with you. 1 to 10. What did you give this movie?
I'd give it a 7.
7.
I, too, would give it a 7.
I'm going to give it an 8. I think that from where it starts to where it ends, it's really, really fun. Eye candy, like you said, just absolute eye candy in this film. And I think that this is a lot better than people gave it credit for, and it's unfortunate. And I'm hoping that our little podcast maybe pushes this to people that didn't give it a chance to maybe now give it a chance. Olive G, 1 to 10, what's your number?
Young people who don't have kids.
7.
7, 7, 7, 7, and an 8.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I think if you haven't seen it,
give it a shot.
Give it a shot.
I mean, it's not going to hurt you.
Yes.
And
It's
you may
just
be
a film.
entertained.
And you may be entertained. You might find some enlightenment. There's really good voiceover work. It was nice to hear Dennis Quaid. It's nice to hear him because I don't feel like you hear a lot of him. We saw Suspect not too long ago, so I actually love that movie a lot. You were okay with it.
It's okay. I've always liked him.
Yeah.
He's
but I feel like he doesn't work as much as he used to.
Maybe.
Yeah.
I mean, he
was a big staple in the 80s and 90s.
Didn't he do like those dog movies, the Dog's Purpose movies?
Oh, yes, he did.
There were a couple of those, weren't there?
I don't think he's a big character because isn't the dog traveling through
the dog
different scenarios?
is the main character.
Yeah,
but he's
Josh
like,
Gad.
He's like the dog's love interest.
No, what the hell?
Easy. Those are Disney movies too, aren't they? It's not that type of movie, folks.
It's not romantic love. It's a dog's love.
Which is the purest of all loves.
Purest of loves. Dogs, we don't deserve.
Also,
dogs.
yes, shout out to the filmmakers for having a 3-legged dog. At the beginning, I found it a little jarring and kind of sad because it's like, oh, 3-legged dog. But that dog was so freaking happy.
I'm sure somebody found that offensive.
I'm sure somebody did.
God damn it.
Damn it.
Shoving that representation down my nose. First you got the gays, and you got the non-whites, and now disabled people. Disabled dogs. Well, even dogs are insane good.
Crazy. Okay, this was written by Qui Nguyen and co-directed by Qui Nguyen.
We probably mangled his name.
Yes. Sorry if we did. And directed by Don Hall. Again, Strange World from 2022, rated PG. So there's really no spicy stuff here.
Oh, no.
1 hour and 42 minutes, currently streaming on Disney Plus, with voiceover work from Jake Gyllenhaal, Jaboukie Young-White, Gabrielle Union, Dennis Quaid, Lucy Liu. Yeah, just a fun film. Just go check it out. It's
give it a shot.
I think the rating was PG for action, peril, and some thematic elements. Yes, but yeah, it's not a big deal. This episode of the podcast goes out to my buddy Zach and Uncle Jay. Congratulations, guys, on the new jobs. I'm so proud and so happy for both of you. All All right, that's it from us, and we will bid you all a
Good night.
Night.
Good night.
good night.